Page 106. This is the second page of More Pretty Girls Than One, involving a high solo up the neck and a fancier backup part at measure 49. Follows the same chord structure, but a lot busier and maybe more interesting for you as a backup. On the duets section, you'll be hearing both of the versions of backup, so you can get an idea of how it all fits together. This will be a lot of starting and stopping, since there's a lot of fingerings to talk about. And if I do run out of time for the solo, I'll do a separate track for the fancier backup, but we'll see how long this thing takes. If I shut up now, maybe it won't take so long. Okay, we are at the top of page 106, up the neck high solo. To start it, you're going to bar 2 strings at your 12th fret. That is second and first string with index bar. You're going to be adding your ring finger momentarily while holding that bar at the first string 14th fret. That will be followed in measure 34 by a F-shaped D chord. So that is index finger 2nd string 10th fret, middle finger 3rd string 11th fret, and pinky 1st string 12th fret. And you pick through that for the entire measure 34. From there, things level off for the next 2 measures. So I'll give you a slow count off, and when we come to a problem spot, I will have to stop. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that's all off that 12th fret bar. When I get to that 3rd string 11th fret, that's where I make my change to the F shape. It's a slight shift back with your middle finger at 3rd string 11th fret. And then you pick through the D, F shape. So one more time from the top. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Pinches with 9th fret, then 10th fret. Notice your index finger is walking up the neck on the 1st string, 12th fret. Next, you shift your middle finger slightly up to the 14th fret. Then you hit your open 5th string, adding your index finger at 2nd string 13th fret. You're still holding down the 14th fret. Reach with your pinky to the 17th fret on the 1st string. 5th string open. Then you pluck 13, 14, which should still be in place, and roll through it again from 5th string open. Another pluck. Then you reach back slightly, pluck the 12th frets again at 2nd and 1st strings. Then we'll save that little lick coming up for a moment from now. Okay, let's take it from the top up through measure 39, the first beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There's my first beat of measure 39. This measure has a tricky little pull-off lick on the first string coming up. Let me play it for you first. This is the first note again of measure 39, double note. From there, it's just another walk up on measure 40. And things begin to repeat themselves for a little bit. So let me describe that lick in measure 39. Starts off simply enough with a pluck at a 2-string bar, 12th fret. Keep that bar in place for this lick. Take your ring finger to the first string 14, pull it away to the 12, and then your second string 12 gets picked. Bring your ring finger over to the third string 14th fret, pick that with the thumb, and then back to second string 12, and by then you're into measure 40, the 5th string open, etc. So I will count off measure 39 and we'll play it into the first note of measure 40. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now let's take it from measure 36, the last measure on the first line, and we'll play up to where we are currently. As a matter of fact, we will play all the way up to the first beat of measure 43 on the third line, because everything repeats itself for a while. So we are at, again, measure 36. Last line on the top line. Last measure on the top line. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we are at the first pluck on measure 43. 43 being the third measure on the third line. Now I'm going to count off measures 43, 44 into the first note of measure 45. 1 and 2, 43, and play. Now I'll go back and describe what's going on there. 43 is the bar at 12th fret. All of these double notes so far are 2-string double notes, so this is a 2-string bar. Then you pick through it, add your middle finger. Your index finger should still be at 12. You're no longer barring necessarily, because now you're adding ring finger on first string 14th in measure 44. Index makes a big shift. Middle finger comes back into position for 10th fret at the second string, and then index is in position on measure 45 at the first string 9th fret. And then you pick through all of that. Index does its big shift again. That brings you into open first string. You do a little scale passage from there next. Bar 2 strings, first and second with your ring finger. And the rest is a piece of cake from 47 to 48. So, just for context's sake, I'll play from measure 41 through to the end of measure 48. Measure 41. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So, I think we've covered as much ground as we want to on this track. On the next track, we'll talk through the fancier backup.